In the fury of Formula One, a driver's helmet is far more than safety equipment. It's their soul. It is a carbon fiber canvas, a personal coat of arms, and the singular expression of the individual inside the machine. The legendary designer Sid Mosca called it the driver's true face, a psychological weapon that signified impending attack in a rival's mirror. These are the 15 iconic helmets that became synonymous with the giants who wore them. Alberto Ascari, Formula One's first double world champion, wore a simple open-face helmet painted light blue, nothing more. In the 1950s, when most drivers chose plain white, this was his rebellion, his mark, his unbreakable rule. But Ascari lived by superstition. Every race day, everything he touched had to be light blue. Helmet, overalls, even the thread on his gloves. It wasn't fashion, it was faith. On May 26, 1955, at Monza, he made an unplanned decision to test his friend, Eugenio Castellotti's Ferrari 750 Monza. For the test, Ascari borrowed Castellotti's white helmet. No light blue helmet, no light blue overalls. He crashed on his third lap and died from his injuries. The absence of his lucky helmet is considered a tragic coincidence related to his famously superstitious nature. His blue helmet became not just protection, but a relic of superstition. Dan Gurney's helmet is unique on this list. Its iconic status comes not from a vibrant livery, but from its revolutionary form and function. It represents a fundamental paradigm shift in motorsport, making it arguably the single most historically important helmet of all time. Gurney, unusually tall for a racing driver, was tired of being struck by stones in his open-face helmet. So he collaborated with Bell Helmets and became the first driver in Formula One history to race with a closed-face helmet. The design was stark, a simple black shell with his name, Dan Gurney, in plain white text on a blue background. Utilitarian, almost brutally functional. He could not have picked a better stage for revolution. The 1968 German Grand Prix at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, often considered the worst racing conditions in F1 history. While others faced the elements with open faces, Gurney wore his full-face prototype. The impact was immediate and absolute. Within years, the full-face helmet became the standard. Gurney gave every driver who came after him the literal canvas upon which they would paint their legends. Without him, none of the other stories you are about to hear would exist in the form they do. He built the architecture of identity itself. Graham Hill's helmet was never about nations or flags. It was about oars, 8 stark white vertical stripes against a deep midnight blue base. The oar blades of a rowing 8. This design came from the London Rowing Club, where Hill had been an accomplished rower, where he had met his wife, Bet, where part of his soul had been forged before he ever touched a racing car. The design is a masterclass in British understatement. Clean, elegant, unmistakable, but its true power revealed itself across generations. Graham Hill won world championships in 1962 and 1968, wearing those 8 white stripes. 28 years later, his son Damon carried the exact same design to his own world championship in 1996. Father and son, separated by time and tragedy, united by 8 painted lines.
And I've got to stop because I've got a lump in my throat.
No other helmet design in history can claim this. An unchanged crest worn to glory by 2 generations. It is motorsport's only dynastic crown. Sir Jackie Stewart wrapped his head in heritage. A single bold band of Royal Stewart tartans circled the crown of his helmet like a warrior's mark. The design was elegantly simple, precisely executed, much like the man himself. Stewart often told the story of the tartan's dominant red. It was used in battle so the enemy could not see blood, a powerful resonance for a man who would become motorsport's greatest safety crusader. He wore the tartan through 3 world championships, but his greatest victory was not won on track. It was won in forcing Formula One to professionalize, to value precision over chaos, to make the sport safer for those who came after. The tartan was more than Scottish pride. It was a visual declaration, precision, heritage, and the refusal to accept unnecessary death as the cost of glory. Before Senna's yellow sunburst burned itself into the collective unconscious of motorsport, another Brazilian helmet set the standard. Emerson Fittipaldi, Brazil's first world champion, carried a design that was Brazil's original masterpiece, crafted by Sid Mosca, a legendary artist whose name you must remember. In 1972, when Fittipaldi claimed his first world championship, his helmet was painted by Mosca in solid colors that would evolve across his career. The design featured various shades of blue and red that transformed over the years. Each iteration, a new chapter in Brazil's motorsport story. By 1980, driving for his own team, the design had reached its most striking form. A dark navy blue base with a bold red wedge sweeping dramatically from the visor, opening upward and back. This was the first chapter in Mosca's extraordinary Formula One legacy, a trilogy of champions that would reshape the visual language of the sport. A double world champion's calling card, and the beginning of something much larger. In 1969, in a hotel room in Hockenheim, a woman named Anna-Marie Buchner sat with adhesive foil and nail scissors. She was crafting a helmet for her boyfriend, Hans-Joachim Stuck. Star by star, she cut and placed white celestial shapes against a deep blue background. The result was one of the most charming and distinctive designs in motorsport history. This is the helmet's genius. It was made with love, not corporate strategy. In an era increasingly dominated by sponsors and marketing departments, Stuck's starry cosmos remains a beloved artifact of authenticity. It reminds us that once, not so long ago, a driver's identity could be born not in a design studio, but in a moment of affection. Craft supplies scattered across a hotel bed. James Hunt's helmet was as uncompromising as the man. A solid, glossy black base with 3 colored stripes, red, blue, yellow, from his school, Wellington College. His name, James Hunt, was rendered in enormous letters across the shell. No subtlety, no apology. This was a helmet designed by a man who lived as he raced. Loud, defiant, utterly comfortable in his own skin. Hunt was the sport's great bon vivant, the antithesis of corporate professionalism. The rebel who won a world championship and never pretended to be anything other than exactly what he was. Decades later, Kimi Räikkönen, another driver allergic to pretense, paid tribute by wearing Hunt's design. The torch passed from one honest man to another. Black, simple, unbreakable. Gilles Villeneuve's helmet was not a symbol. It was motion made visible. A large, stylized red V swooped from the sides of the helmet, down toward the chin bar against a dark background, creating an almost violent impression of speed and aggression. The design was created by Gilles and his wife Joanne, sketched with Crayola pencils at their kitchen table while their son Jacques watched. It was a family creation for a driver whose style was pure, unfiltered passion. Villeneuve drove on the absolute edge of control, every lap a high wire act, every corner a dance with physics. The V was perfect. It looked fast, even when sitting still. It graphically communicated what words never could. This was a man who refused to drive at any speed less than maximum attack. Nelson Piquet was Brazil's second multi-champion and one of Formula One's craftiest, most cunning competitors. His helmet was the second masterpiece in Sid Mosca's Brazilian trilogy. A crisp white base with a distinctive large red teardrop shape, outlined in black, wrapping elegantly around the visor opening. The design was clean, immediately recognizable, perfectly suited to the ground effect cars of his era. While Fittipaldi had been the trailblazer and Senna would become the ultimate icon, Piquet was the bridge, the hugely successful calculating superstar who solidified Brazil's place at the pinnacle of the sport. 3 world championships. A design of elegant simplicity. The middle act in Mosca's masterwork. There are helmets, and then there is Ayrton Senna's helmet. It is the undisputed benchmark, the design against which all others are measured. A sun-like yellow base with 2 fluid stripes, green over blue, emanating from the visor opening. Sid Mosca, the architect of Brazil's visual dynasty, envisioned them as coming out of his eyes, symbolizing Senna's supernatural concentration. The design was created in the late 1970s for a national karting team. When the young Senna saw it, he recognized something profound. He made a request that would echo through motorsport history. "I want the paint design for myself. Please don't repeat this paint design." From that moment, it was his alone. Rivals spoke of the dread they felt, seeing that bright yellow hue appear in their mirrors. It was a psychological weapon. The helmet became synonymous with genius, with an almost mystical connection between man and machine. With a talent so pure it seemed to transcend the physical. The yellow helmet endures as motorsport's most recognizable symbol, a design that captured the essence of a driver who operated on a plane beyond the ordinary. Every great legend requires a great rival. And for Senna's vibrant sunburst, the perfect opposition came in the form of Alain Prost's helmet. A clean white base, adorned with simple lines, blue and red, flowing back from the visor, subtly evoking the French tricolor. The design was minimalist, precise, unadorned. It was the visual signature of a 4-time world champion whose nickname was the Professor. Where Senna was passion and mysticism, Prost was calculation and intellect. Where Senna's helmet burst with color and energy, Prost's was cool, measured, efficient. The image of these 2 helmets battling wheel to wheel is seared into the memory of anyone who witnessed their rivalry. Yellow and white, fire and ice, instinct and intellect. The helmets told the story before the drivers ever spoke a word. Nigel Mansell's helmet was aggression made graphic. The red, white, and blue elements of the British Union Jack were cleverly arranged to form a distinct, forward-facing arrow pointing directly at his visor. It was an unmistakable appearance of attack. Mansell adopted the design early and never wavered. Its genius was its adaptability. The core arrow remained constant whether he was driving a Lotus, a Williams, or a Ferrari. You always knew it was Mansell. You always knew he was coming. The helmet became the definitive symbol of Mansell mania and the British Bulldog spirit. The forward-pointing arrow was a perfect metaphor for his head-down, all-or-nothing approach that won him the 1992 World Championship and the hearts of millions. The arrow always pointed forward, never back. While Jackie Stewart had claimed the tartan, David Coulthard brought another powerful symbol of Scottish identity to Formula One, the saltire. His helmet was a direct representation of the Scottish flag, the iconic St. Andrew's white cross on a deep blue background. Clean, graphic, instantly recognizable. Coulthard chose this design early in his career and remained fiercely loyal to it through 13 Grand Prix victories and partnerships with Williams, McLaren, and Red Bull. In an era when many drivers began experimenting with multiple designs, Coulthard's consistency was a statement. This is who I am. This is where I come from. This will never change. The Saltire helmet stands as one of the most enduring designs of its generation. A modern classic, built on ancient pride. Michael Schumacher wore many helmets across his career, but one design transcends all others. The all-encompassing Ferrari red of his years of absolute dominance. Debuting around 2000, this helmet marked a calculated shift, a complete alignment of his personal brand with Scuderia Ferrari. The design was dominated by Ferrari's Rosso Corsa. 7 stars adorned the top, representing his eventual world championships. The overwhelming red made Schumacher visually indistinguishable from his car. He became Ferrari. Ferrari became him. This was a psychological weapon of a different kind. His earlier designs had been tied to his German identity, the German flag, German colors, but the switch to a Ferrari helmet coincided with 5 consecutive world championships from 2000 to 2004. It became the definitive visual symbol of one of the most dominant eras in Formula One history.
Michael Schumacher gets his 7th Formula One World Championship.
Lewis Hamilton's helmet is the great exception, and its exception proves the rule. While every other design on this list is a monument to consistency, one helmet, one career, one immortal image, Hamilton's story is told in 4 distinct chapters. This is not the modern trend of changing designs every race for aesthetic novelty. This is the visual chronicle of a complete journey. The yellow helmet of 2007 to 2012. A beacon his father Anthony chose so he could spot his son in a pack of karts. This was the helmet of his explosive debut and his first world championship in 2008.
Is that clock going slowly?
It is, it's clock! Oh my goodness me! Hamilton's back in position again! 100,000 local hearts to place back to Hamilton. He comes through, and if I'm absolutely right, I'm sure that he is going to claim 5th place, which is all he needs to do to become the 2008 Formula One World Champion, Lewis Hamilton.
The white Mercedes helmet of 2013 to 2019. A deliberate break from the past. A clean slate on which to build his own legacy.
World champion! Oh my God!
The black and purple helmet of 2020 to 2024. Unequivocally his own, worn as he shattered records and transformed the helmet into a platform for advocacy. The helmet had become a voice.
In Formula One, records are there to
7
be broken.
world championships.
The record is broken. Hamilton has more wins than any other driver in Formula One history.
And now, the Modena yellow Ferrari helmet of 2025. His move to the legendary Scuderia brings his story full circle. A return to yellow on his own terms. In a perfect twist, his very first helmet as a child was Ferrari red. The beginning and the end, connected across 3 decades. Hamilton's helmet broke the sacred rule because his story demanded it. 4 chapters, 4 designs, 1 complete narrative. It is the exception that proves why the rule existed. A helmet should tell a story. Hamilton's simply required 4 acts instead of 1. The helmet is the last piece of the human that remains visible, when everything else dissolves into speed. These 15 proved that sometimes, paint on carbon fiber can achieve immortality.